What is going on, everybody? It's your boy Brady. Today we are coming back with another how-to episode on how to roll your fenders. I just got my fender roller off Amazon. I'll drop the link in the description below so you can check that out. And today on this episode, I am giving you step-by-step on how to roll your fenders the right way. So let's get right into it. Alright, so first thing you're going to want to do is jack the car up and get your wheels off. We are doing our rear fenders because our fronts are already rolled. So get your wheels off and then we'll move on from there. So as a little tip, for this process you are going to want a heat gun, not a blow dryer. It will not get hot enough. You're going to want an actual heat gun. It's not necessary, but to do it right and to do it safely, you're going to want one. It'll make the job easier and put a little bit less stress on yourself because you're going to need it so that you can heat up the area you're trying to roll. That way you don't crack any paint. And honestly, it's really worth getting one of these for more than just this, but for this reason alone, doing it the right way, you could save yourself from a pretty expensive paint job. So definitely have heat gun when doing this process. Alright, so next up, we're going to take our fender roller and hook it up to the car. So, as long as you get the right fender roller, which this one is pretty well universal, but there are some bolt patterns that don't line up with this, so make sure you check that when you're buying one. But get it on there on your lugs, or on your lug bolts, and then get your lug nuts on there. You don't have to impact them on or anything, but get them on there so it's tight. You don't want this moving around and wiggling, or else it'll just cause some problems. I put 4 on there, just because the 5th one you can't really get to, but you could do 3, you could even do 2. You just want to make sure it's tight and it doesn't slip around. So that's what you're going to want to do next, is get your fender roller all set up on your wheel correctly. Alright, so once you got this set up, what you're going to want to do is get its height adjusted so that it can push up against the lip here that you're trying to bend in. And then you want to set your roller. I found it works best if you have the roller so that it is parallel with the floor, or directly perpendicular with the machine, however you want to look at it. And then from there, you're going to want to stop. So don't do anything else with the roller for a second. So before you start rolling, there's a couple things you got to do. First thing, just for some good cleaning, and you don't want this to end up affecting you later. On the lip, a lot of dirt and dust can get collected up there, so just go ahead and give it a wipe, because there's a lot of dirt that gets collected up there just from driving around. So wipe that down, because at the end of the day, one, it's always good to wipe stuff down before you end up messing with it. Helps kind of clean everything up, and especially with this kind of section of the car, you can end up developing rust back there because of the dirt. So it's best to just get it clean before you do this whole process, because once your fenders are rolled, it'll trap the dirt in there and it won't be able to get out. Alright, and from this point, grab your heat gun. And what you're going to want to do is don't try and heat the entire panel. Pick a little section, a section maybe 5-6 inches long on your back quarter panel, and heat that area up. You don't have to get it blistering hot, but get it so that it's nice and warm. It's just going to be something like this. Don't let it get crazy hot, but you're going to want to warm it up. Alright, you want that paint to be warm. It should be warm to the touch. Alright, so now that area is warm, I can feel it's warm. What you're going to want to do is you're going to want to get it lined up exactly where you want it, and from there, nice and easy, you're just going to wind it up, and the fender will roll in. So now don't even try to grab it and yank it across to try and do the whole arch in a single sweep. You just want to do it in little bits. So once you've kind of pushed in one section, release the pressure, move it a little bit, and do it again. So this is why you only heat up a small area at a time, because you can really only do a small area at a time. And then sometimes you gotta adjust the roller piece here, just because as it's pushing against the fender, it kind of moves a little bit. And from there, you just kind of keep working your way all the way across. It's not a hard process, but it does take a little bit of time. So take your time with it, and it'll come out really well. I actually did the other side first, just to make sure, you know, I could think of any tips to give you guys before recording it all. And it goes really smooth if you just take your time with it. So do a whole section, do another section, and then if you want, go back over that whole section, and that's where you can do the rolling pattern to try and get it all one single flush kind of size back there. So just work slowly through it, and you'll be alright. Remember, heat up the area. So you only do a couple inches at a time, just do it in little chunks, and it'll come out great. Alright guys, so I just want to show you a little bit of the difference of rolled versus unrolled. So as you can see there, that is a pretty good amount of space in the world of tires and fitment. So that's kind of what it's looking like, and that's kind of what you should be shooting for. A nice rounded edge, nice smooth through the whole rolled section there. So try and replicate that, do it in small chunks, and take your time, and you'll be alright. Alright guys, so we finished rolling the fenders. After you finish rolling them, taking your time and everything, put the wheels back on the car, lower the car down, and you should have space. So I actually now have a lot more space. It's going to allow the car to squat a little bit under acceleration, which is going to be awesome. And I want to talk about the product that I used. So this roller I got off Amazon. It was it probably wasn't, I don't even think it was 60 bucks. It's really solid except for one piece. It has a single fail point, and it's this king nut that's on the back. And so what I actually ended up having to do is I had to weld a nut on there because it just kept snapping. So honestly, I would only recommend getting this off of Amazon if you have a welder. And what I would do is immediately just weld a nut in place of that king nut. Other than that, it was great. It did a really nice job. The poly here is nice. It's soft, so it's not cracking my bumper pane or anything. So as I said, I would recommend this, but only if you have a welder. I'm gonna have the link down in the description, so if you want to check that out. Other than that, we're gonna finish up here. So remind you guys, subscribe to the channel. That way you're not missing any of these how-to videos or the build series. It's sick. If you haven't yet, check it out. And let me know down in the comments what other how-tos you want to see, or what other videos you'd like me to produce. I like making them for you guys. The how-tos are fun for me. So let me know what you want to see, and I'll get around to making them. Alright? See you in the next video.